Hello, good evening, and welcome to UPfront. My name is Raymond Acquah. Tonight, my guest is perhaps the man who is at the center of the biggest conversation in this country about national identification. Professor Kenneth Attafuah is actually the Executive Secretary of the National Identification Authority. This is more important because in the last few days, the Electoral Commission has been trying to lay a constitutional instrument in the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, which has received massive reaction and to some extent rejection from the minority, with the majority today backing it and insisting not even the Speaker can prevent the work of government from being done in that particular house. This CI will, among other things, introduce a very different terrain where only the Ghana card shall be used for voter registration. Apart from that, there are other very interesting details of this particular CI that's already rallying up the minority and those in the NDC, but the majority appears not to be faced by this particular determination. Tonight, we'll be getting that reaction from Parliament. We'll also be speaking to the man at the center of this conversation. That is Professor Kenneth Attafuah on UPfront tonight. You welcome back to UPfront. My name is Raymond Acquah, and this conversation is starting from the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, where already we heard the minority indicate that the CI should never be laid. This CI is, among others, supposed to ensure that only those who have the Ghana card can actually embark on the exercise of having to be registered to vote in the Republic of Ghana. Let me go to that house and speak to the Boko Central MP, who is also on the side of the minority, very strong and opinionated in their massive defense of their position to reject or not lay the CI. The Honorable Mahama Yaga, welcome to UPfront.
Good evening to your listeners and viewers.
Honorable, the conversation has become now very entrenched. We have heard the majority in Ghana's parliament today say, through the majority leader, that nobody can stop the laying of the constitutional instrument the Electoral Commission would like to bring to Parliament. Your side did a press conference yesterday indicating reasons why you feel this should not be the case. For the very majority leader of the House, you just peddled a lot, not you personally, but the minority just peddled a lot of falsehood in order to make its point about this particular claim. Is it factual that nobody, including your very selves, including the Speaker, can stop the laying of this CI?
Well, we all want the good of the country. So if anything good is coming the way of the country, I'm sure we will all push for it. But then also, sometimes you need to be cautious. In the first place, the Electoral Commission is not government. And so I don't understand why the majority leader has assumed the position of stating the position of the Electoral Commission. The last time we were in the House, he swore that nobody could stop government business from being conducted. The Electoral Commission is not government, so that's not government business. The Electoral Commission is an independent constitutional body that is mandated to regulate elections by bringing CIs to Parliament in their capacity as an independent constitutional body. It is not up to the majority leader to speak for them and state what they will do or they will not do. It is possible that listening to all the reasons that are being presented, not just by the minority, but by other well-meaning Ghanaians, the former chairperson of the Electoral Commission has spoken. He is an authority on elections. Other civil society groups have spoken. They are an authority on elections. So if you just say that we have spoken, we are just one of those speaking in this respect. So it's possible that the commission, if indeed it is an independent body, will listen to all these and say that perhaps what we are proposing should not be the one. Because the last time they came, we gave them alternatives. it is possible that they will go and sit and think through it and come to a conclusion that perhaps the alternatives that we are offering them make sense. So I'm surprised that the majority leader and leader of government business has assumed the affairs of the Electoral Commission as government business. And that is the problem for the Electoral Commission, because they then make it difficult for one section of the public to listen dispassionately to whatever the commission is saying. So they should distance themselves from that. They should also present their arguments if they think that our arguments are wrong, and not be the ones to say that whatever happens, this CI will come. Are you the one bringing it?
They have already distilled that it is the make and mode of the NDC to reject all the very progressive proposals that have been made in strengthening the electoral system. In fact, the majority leader believes that throughout the history, any attempt to bring new ideas to improve the electoral system has been opposed by the NDC and those of you in the minority. So you really are not coming from a place of strength on this matter. So it should be seen in that particular light. You agree?
Now let's examine the idea. What is the idea? The idea is that any Ghanaian who is desirous of registering must bring a Ghana card. And we said, oh, you already have in your law a provision that says that any Ghanaian who is desirous of voting should bring a Ghana card if they have one. If they don't have one, they can come and then have some people guarantee that they are indeed Ghanaians. And then you will register. You are saying that, oh, the method of people coming to guarantee for others has been abused. Indeed, the last time you deleted 40,000 names from your register because presumably or allegedly those were people who were not qualified, but through the guarantor system got their names on the register. You discovered it and you deleted it. Inbuilt in your argument is a statement that the existing mechanism works because it works so effectively that out of a register of about 16 million, registered voters, you identified only 40 as the people who were on it inappropriately, haven't abused the guarantor system. And you were able to delete it, and nobody in Ghana came and said, why did you delete it? So it means that the existing system works. Now you are telling me that in spite of the fact that the existing system works, and you are able to detect those who are not supposed to get on the register and end up getting on the register and to delete it, you want to come and make it more difficult for any Ghanaian who wants to register by taking away the guarantor system. And you say that the only document you will accept is the Ghana card. When you came to Parliament, we said, oh, but the people who are producing the Ghana card, the National Identification Authority, in 2000, when they came to us to pass their law, the National Identity Register Act, they did not make provision for a guarantor system to identify Ghanaian citizens for purposes of issuing them with the Ghana card. But 8 years down the line, in 2008, they realized that their work will be enhanced if they incorporate a guarantor system into the mechanism of identifying Ghanaians to issue them with a card. So they came to us in Parliament, and we amended their law in 2008 and now allow them to also use a guarantor system to identify Ghanaians. So why is it that the people whose cards the product of whose work you are going to use, they are using a guarantor system, and you are telling us that you will not use a guarantor system? We asked her. She had no response but to tell us that, oh, the guarantor system of the NIA is more robust because you have to swear an oath. Then we reminded her that the CI 126, which you brought to us and we approved and you signed it into law, it makes provision for guarantors under your CI to also, guarantee under oath. So there's really no difference. In any case, and she said, oh, the guarantor system of the what do they call it? The NIA is more robust. So we said, okay, at the barest minimum, we in the minority are ready to allow you to amend your law to include the same guarantor system that the NIA has. So that you can also use, if you say yours is not robust, theirs is robust, okay, amend your law and use their guarantor system. But you cannot say that you are going to restrict the right of every Ghanaian to be registered to vote to only one medium of establishing their identity. That is too restrictive. The second argument is that you yourself told us that in the last voter registration exercise, 10 million Ghanaians used their Ghana cards to register to obtain a voter ID card to vote. And we said, okay, the fact that 10 million Ghanaians use their card should tell you that when the Ghanaian has the Ghana card, he or she, when they are desirous of going to register, will send their Ghana card. So instead of making it the only document that you will accept, let's push the NIA so that they will work hard and make sure that everybody has the card. And people on their own, instead of suffering through the guarantor system, will easily use their Ghana card. They only resort to the guarantor system where they have a difficulty getting the Ghana card. And it's a known fact across this country that people have gone through hell just trying to get their Ghana card. Because the Ghana card is a desirous document. People use it for so many things. Bank account, SIM registration, everything, insurance, what do they call it? Obtaining their passport. Everything today that they need to do when they have a Ghana card, life is easy for them. So they are not necessarily even interested in your voter registration. They are interested in the Ghana card for its intrinsic value and value addition to their lives. So don't make it compulsory that they must have it before they come to register with the Electoral Commission. Let's all focus on the NIA, making it available to all of them, and they will on their own walk to the Electoral Commission office with their Ghana card and register. But when you take out every other option and say only Ghana card, and they go and struggle and they don't get the Ghana card, then they are discouraged from registering. So that's the first leg of the argument. Then the second leg of the argument, or the idea that they are bringing to us,
very briefly,
is that they want to start a continuous registration system. We all support a continuous registration system. After all, there's a constitutional right to be registered as a voter once you turn 18 and you're of sound mind. Now, a continuous registration system that makes it more difficult for somebody to register by saying that this time you will sit in your office, and wherever the person is, he must come to your office and be registered. Whereas in the past, you have, created a window, a limited registration period, when you have reached out to the newly qualified voters, and then they will register, and will register at their various polling stations. This time, so you won't reach out to them. They're going to sit in your office, and they must all come there. We're saying that some people are living so far away from you that it doesn't make sense for you to say you will sit in your office and they must come to your office. You must continue to have the limited registration window that you reach out to them, and then if they don't take advantage of that period and it is over, they must then follow you to your office at their own expense and then to avail themselves of the facilities to register as voters. Now, we're saying that the combined effect of the two ideas that you are bringing, the idea that the person must go to NIA office and get an NIA card, and the NIA office is in the district capital. So somebody in Bole Bamboy, where from the district to the last polling station is about 80 kilometers. Now he struggles and travels 80 kilometers to the district NIA office, and sometimes he doesn't get it on the first visit. He might be lucky if he gets it on the second and third visit. After 2 or 3 visits, just to get an NIA card, and he doesn't get it, you think that person will now struggle again and come to the Electoral Commission office? He might just be discouraged. Even if, you go one trip, who is going to pay your expenses? So if you combine the effect that he must go to NIA office to get the Ghana card, and then again travel another 80 kilometers to now come to your office to get a voter registration card, you are just making it almost impossible for a taxpayer and a citizen who is entitled to be registered and who has seen that in the past you've always come and reached out to everybody else, the 16 million people who are on your register now, you reached out to them and they registered. And then today he qualifies to be registered. You say that he must travel 80 kilometers to the NIA office and register, and after that travel another 80 kilometers and come to your office and register. So you are putting too many restrictions and imposing a very burdensome regime on these newly qualified voters. So don't change it. The existing regime served you well and produced the current president and this parliament. Why do you want to restrict it?
I am grateful.
These are the ideas on the table.
No, I get you.
People say these ideas are unreasonable. I don't know what else is unreasonable in terms of the responses and the options that we have given the Electoral Commission.
I guess we can leave it off here, and we sure should be hoping to see what happens to it. Where is the report? The report the Speaker was supposed to lead and sign and present it to the House. When is it going to be presented?
I don't know. That's all a matter for the Speaker to determine. I mean, he's going to sign it. So if he's satisfied with it and he signs it.
So we don't know when this CI is likely to be laid. We don't know.
Well, I mean, you see, it's not just an ordinary CI. This is a matter. Excuse me. This is a matter that involves building national consensus.
Okay.
And so I am quite surprised to hear somebody like the majority leader, approach it as if it is something that, we should approach in a one-sided, non-consensual manner. These discussions, I mean, the fact that the Electoral Commission comes to Parliament to sit with us and then we discuss it, these are, the ways by which you build understanding and consensus around issues.
I get your point.
So they've come, we have given them our views on the matter. We expect them to go and think through it. And then all of a sudden, the majority leader is organizing press conferences saying that it must happen, as if you are the Electoral Commission.
Honorable Ayaga, I'm grateful for your time this evening. And we'll be coming in studio. I did promise you that main interview is with the Executive Secretary of the National Identification Authority, Professor Kenneth Attafuah. Prof, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Raymond.
I hope you are doing well this day.
I am doing well, thank you.
I mean, it's the case that your office once in a while comes under some more scrutiny, especially, not long ago, it was to do with SIM card registration. Then now it's about voter registration, which really the indication is that if the NIA cannot provide the cards, why tamper with the perfection of the current system? And if the NIA, we could not rely on it, provide all the cards for voter registration to be completed, for the SIM registration to be completed, how can we rely on it to make all the cards available for a voter registration exercise, which really would have to happen before the next election to be completed? Very legitimate issues, right?
No.
Oh, really?
Really.
Okay.
None of them is legitimate.
Really?
You began with the perfection of the system. I don't know what you're talking about, but let us assume that there is such a creature as a perfect system. If there is a perfect system, it is the system that the NIA has created, independent of the conversations, the confusions around what our mandate is.
Okay.
It is important to remind ourselves of what the mandate of the NIA is. It is to register all Ghanaians living in Ghana and abroad and issue them with ID cards. It is to create and maintain a national identity database. It is to ensure the accuracy, integrity, confidentiality, and security of the data that it collects. And it is to make the data in its custody available to institutions and persons authorized by law to receive or access the data. So you assess the NIA by this statutory mandate. That's the legal framework. That is the moral obligation. That's what we are set up to do.
Yeah.
So you talk of SIM card.
Yeah.
SIM card registration is a mandate that belongs to a different entity. That entity set a deadline and said, I want this activity to be completed between time A and B. NIA's mandate is to register all Ghanaians in Ghana and abroad, and all foreigners legally or permanently resident in Ghana, that is to say, who are here for 90 days or longer, and who are not diplomats or the representatives of international non-governmental organizations. In other words, our mandate exists in perpetuity. We are to work perpetually. Now, the law required us to do mass registration in order to populate the database with a critical mass of Ghanaians. We did that beginning on 29th of April 2019. It was for a one-year period. The target was 16 million as approved by the governing board of the NIA. By the time we were done, we had done 16.4 million Ghanaians aged 15 and above, in excess of the target that was set for us.
Okay.
If you look at NIA's mandate and its functions, we have done so excellently well that the Ghana Integrity Initiative, the local chapter of Transparency International, the global anti-corruption agency, recognized the NIA as the most efficient public sector institution in December of 2021 and gave us its most coveted award. That's significant. That's not one of those NGOs you influence. That's not one of those institutions you give money to and they give you recognition. So coming back to SIM card, for example, we could not, and I said this umpteen times and I got into trouble, we could not give cards to every Ghanaian before a deadline of X or Y. And when that reality dawned, the state extended the deadline for SIM card registration.
On several occasions.
Thank you. On each occasion they did, this is after we had already registered, done mass registration, and set up 292 offices nationwide, 16 regional offices and 276 district offices, including Seoul, because the thing is 275.
Okay.
Making it 276, coterminous with constituencies. Simultaneously, on one day, 3rd of November 2021. It's never happened in the history of this country. We did that. It went without the recognition by the media, by the way, but it was a significant accomplishment. And through our offices, Ghanaians could access our services. But whenever SIM card registration deadline was approaching, you saw an avalanche of demands. Then we would set up extra registration points, such as at the Stadia, Elwak Stadium, Kumasi, Cape Coast, Cape Coast at the fire service, but Ho and Tamale and all these other places, to expand the base of access. We've done that. As soon as announcement is made about extension, all our registration points become ghost towns. You cannot blame NIA for that. We've gone beyond the call of duty. We set up extra points, we rented canopies and chairs, everywhere, every nook and cranny we could use. We used our staff, very dedicated, a few rogues amongst us, but by and large, decent people doing a decent job to serve the people of this country. So SIM card. Now, when you come to the EC, our mandate, by the time we were done in 2020 after COVID, we had captured over, that is 15 years and above, we had registered over 16 million people. And a significant portion of it was persons who were aged 18 and above. That is why the Supreme Court could rely on data from NIA in its decision to allow the EC to rely on the Ghana card and passport as the primary means of identification for registration in the 2020 elections and the vouching process. So you come back to what it is NIA has done. What is the statistics looking like now? You put it in context.
Current one.
Current.
Okay.
Oh, well, okay, no current. I can ask my officers to try and get me the current statistics as we speak. So by the time we're done.
Okay, I get you. Yeah, because
but as at the time we went to Parliament, the data we had sent was as at February 19th, 2023. Okay. Put it in context. In 9 years, the National Identification Authority had registered 4,554,528 from 2008 to 2017. They had printed, NI had printed 2,719,425 cards, and it had issued only 900,000 cards to Ghanaians. Fast forward to today, that is to last week Sunday, we have registered 17,375,861. We have printed 16,737,734. And we have issued 16,095,331. That's a colossal achievement. Mind you, this system we designed, the instant issuance, we designed it because of the failings of the centralized printing and issuance in 2008 when my predecessor, Professor Dumoy, and I embarked on the mass registration. Cards were printed, people were registered, a record stored on CD-ROMs in those days, brought to headquarters, then you print and then you send them back. Only people, 900,000 people were Greater Accra people. Nobody else. In the rest of the country, throughout this country, we have issued over 16 million cards, beginning in 2019, with a pilot in 2018. But seriously, mass registration began on 29th April 2019. That is the record of accomplishment. It is not tailored to any particular institution. But Raymond, more and more institutions are finding the value of getting hooked onto the NI database. And they are doing so by law. By law passed in 2012, LI 2111, Regulation 7 of which provides that basically, wherever identification is required to be established, the Ghana card shall be required, okay? And it says, I count about 17 mandatory uses of the Ghana card. Application for an issuance of passports, driver's license, insurance policies, banking transactions, whether it's personal or corporate, purchase, transfer, and registration of land, including your apartments or houses and all of the landed properties, transactions specified under the National Health Insurance, pensions, Social Security, and National Insurance Trust, consumer credit, registration of voters. Since 2012, that has been the law, that whenever you want to register to vote, you shall produce the Ghana card. That's a law that predated my second coming to NIA.
But it didn't say that would be the only criteria as of the time. It didn't say categorically.
It doesn't have to.
Okay, yes, but that's what's in contention today.
But it's a frivolous point.
Because that's what's in contention today.
But it doesn't mean that it cannot be a frivolous point. It is a frivolous point. Yeah. The law says clearly that wherever identification is to be, in this case, wherever you want to register to vote, you shall produce the Ghana card. It doesn't have to go on and say that, but you shall also produce, or you are at liberty to produce any other thing. The exclusion of a thing by its specification here means that that thing is excluded. It's a basic principle in interpretation of statute. That's not, I have tried to not get involved in. I
get you, but it doesn't say only the Ghana card, but it doesn't, even in this case.
But it doesn't have to. Raymond, that's my point. Okay. It is a frivolous argument. It doesn't have to. Why then it says payment of taxes, registration of SIM cards. Why are you not taking your passport? Why are you not taking your driver's license to go and register for your SIM card? Even though it doesn't say only Ghana card. You cannot, because by specifying the Ghana card, all other things are excluded. It's like holy matrimony. This registration of SIM card. Then it says application for public or government services, facilities, approvals, permissions, or benefits, and any other transaction which the authority may determine and publish in the Gazette. For me, my mandate is to make sure that that every Ghanaian who wants to register for the Ghana card is registered. Number two, everyone who registers for the Ghana card is issued with the Ghana card. So I must make that facility available. Yeah. Now, what is the record? The record is that we have to date registered 17.3 million Ghanaians onto the National Identity Register. Of the 17.3 million Ghanaians, 17.375861, they are aged 15 and above. The number of cards printed but not collected, Ghanaians who know that their cards are printed, but who have not come for them. Not that NIA has not issued the cards. There's a big difference.
NIA could not bring it closer to them.
No, hold on. This 642,403 were cards that were close to the people during mass registration.
Okay.
Raymond, these were registration centers in the communities. Here at Joy FM, there was one just around at the end of this corner, the corner of yours. Yeah. There was another one here. There was another one at the
GRA place. What they call
that was your election, yeah. But the GRA place is just a walking distance from here.
The one at Circle.
How far is that from here? Yeah. But the law required us to use the last polling stations used by the Electoral Commission.
Okay.
So we took survey equipment and went to every registration point of EC in order to determine which places had the strongest network connectivity, because we wanted to do instant issuance. And this instant issuance, with all its limitations, over 90% of cards were printed instantly.
I see.
Instantly. And that is the record, that is the truth. Now, when those people, and I sympathize with them, whose cards were not printed instantly, when you and I go and you get yours and I don't, I feel bad. I go once, twice, and the card is not ready because of whatever reason. I demoralized or whatever, I don't go again. But the card your card will remain at the place you registered throughout the period of our mass registration. When mass registration was over, all the cards were taken to the headquarters. When the offices were established, 292 offices, on the 3rd of November 2021, the cards were sent to the district and regional offices as by law required. If you were unable to go for your card or you did not get your card during the mass registration, you are expected to go for your card at the regional or district office. I know it imposes a burden. Honorable Mahama Ayariga was talking about distances and cost and all of that. We are operators in the field. We know that reality. But the fact of the matter is that NIA as an institution does not have the wherewithal to go back to every single village, and we were in every hamlet, every nook and cranny of this country. We surely do not have the wherewithal to go back and look for people and say, come for your card. What we have a duty to do and a capacity, and we've done, is to do text message blasts to people, to call people and tell them that their cards are available in the district offices. In some places like Katamanso 2 days ago while we were in Parliament, efforts were being made. Our people were going to the field on market day or on a special day to issue cards to people. Where it is possible to accommodate that, because MP or DC or MC, somebody is cooperating with us in a way that enables us to reach out to the people and get them to get their cards. We do that. But it is important to let Ghanaians understand that 642,400 are people who know or ought to know that their cards are available. By the way, this includes people, some of whom have passed on, who have moved on, who have either gone to report that their cards are missing or damaged, and falsely so, and procured a new one, leaving the original one they registered for in their community behind. So this has a certain dark figure that is included.
So this is the number of people you've registered and have not gotten come for the card yet.
They have not come for the cards. Then, thank you. Then we have 529,000 people who have registered since July, August of 2022, but who have not gotten their cards because we, NIA, have not been able to print their cards for them because we, NIA, did not have the blank cards. And let me use this opportunity to clear one misconception out there. This 541,529 are people whose records are with us. But because of the shortage of blank cards, we have not printed cards for them. This category of people, I reported in Parliament, the Honorable Minister for Finance confirmed it, and I can confirm to you that the arrangement with CalBank, we have 3.5 million blank cards. And I want to emphasize it, Raymond, because some of the stations, even within the Joy family, misrepresented it. 3.5 million blank cards in a bonded warehouse. They are not cards of Ghanaians, as in personalized cards that are being withheld or being kept in a bonded.
Okay, so they are not blank ID cards ready for.
They are ready to be personalized.
Delivery.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
So all these people, by close of business today, my understanding is that the 100 million that had been agreed to be paid to CalBank has been fully paid, and therefore, either later today or tomorrow, it's already too late today, but by tomorrow, cards will be released. We've set up a scheme. I told Parliament we could print these cards in about 11 days. We will do so. We will put our best efforts, best judgment, best intellect to the task.
The 541,000.
541,000.
Okay.
We'll print these cards. After the 11th day or so, we will call these people. We will send them text message blasts. Let them know where their cards are. And your card will be at the district office or regional office, which is where you registered anyway. So you know where you registered. You will go there and we will give you your cards. This 1,529 is a no-brainer.
So, I mean, this question is important because
Yes,
you say
please.
you reach out to people. For example, if I register at the GRA office here, very close in Adabraka, in Kokomlimli here, where is the district office that I'm supposed to? So, would I be told automatically through this process? Would I know at the point of registration that when I'm coming back for the card, which could have been some different time anyway, this is where I'm supposed to get it? Okay,
let's get it systematically. Let's get it straight. These 541,529 people, they went to NIA offices, not registration center.
Okay.
They went to a district or a regional office. So they know where they went to register.
Okay.
So that's where they will go to collect their cards.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a different category of fish, a different kettle of fish from the 642,403 who registered during mass registration at different registration centers, some of whom may not know. For example, somebody may be sitting here in Kokomlimli, but may not know the district office or the district capital, where it's located. At the assembly, usually we are at the district assembly or municipal assembly. So that's a different matter. But my assurance to the good people of this country is that 541,529 people will be served with their cards. It will be for them to report at the places they registered to go and collect their cards. Now, for the purposes of EC, which is the issue or the bone of contention, the Statistical Service informs us that the National Population Census 2020 yielded a result of 31 million Ghanaians. Raymond, this 31 million Ghanaians, 17.37 million have been captured. They are aged 15 and above. Of those who are aged 15 and above, 16.9 million are aged 18 and above. 16.9 million out of the 17.3 are age 16, are age 18 and above. That, and then we have to juxtapose that against the figures of the EC. The number of registered Ghanaians aged 18 years on the EC's voter register currently is 17,029,000. So where you have 17,029,000 and 16.9, almost 17 million are already aged 18 and above. That's a significant number. Very, very significant. Now, Raymond, of the entire population of 31 million, the population cohort, aged 15 and above, yet to be registered, is 2.56 million. 2,565,704. Ray, that's a population, or that's a number of people who can be registered in a maximum of 6 months. And if we put our efforts to it within 3 months, we can register these people. Raymond, in the last 1 year, when we're just at our offices, no special effort, we registered over 1.75 million. That's why we moved from the 16.4 million I was talking about after mass registration to the current figure of about 17.375. Albeit, of course, the SIM card registration pressure contributed a bit to the upward growth in the numbers.
This assurance you are giving, does it take into consideration?
Which of them?
The assurance that within 6 months, the estimated 2.5 million can be registered. Does it take into consideration the difficulties people have had with internet connectivity and all the other issues that have been raised?
Which people have had? Slow down. Ask the question properly.
Yeah.
Does it take into account the difficulties people have had with internet connectivity?
Yes,
which
registration centers.
No, you are making a mistake. The mistake, sorry, sir.
I get you, no problem.
The mistake will feed into a misconception out there. Raymond, we are not operating registration centers anywhere at the moment. We are operating from our regional and district offices. Those offices are sited at places where we are satisfied that there is network. So when you go to register at any of these places, it is not network is down. That's not an issue. And you have not heard it. So don't let us import it. There were issues like that during mass registration.
But that's not the point I'm making. I'm saying that in the statement,
there won't be.
Sorry, in the statement of the minority, it raises the questions of your ability to clear backlog and also register the rest of the people within the time period, which it actually says you admitted, and of course the references to the news file on some of these, and list among other things the difficulties with connectivity. That is why I'm actually asking you whether or not your estimation takes that into consideration.
Yes.
So you're saying that their presumption that
they're mixing two things.
Okay.
They're mixing up two things. The network connectivity issues we shared with them was in respect of the challenges we had in the past. Issuing cards to people, that's getting people to get their cards when we were in the field because network failed and all of that. We have now moved from mass registration since September 2020. We have offices since November 2021. Our registration activities take place at those offices. In response to the avalanche of pressure from SIM card registration, we set up temporary registration points. But these were in the urban areas at Accra Sports Stadium and LWAC and Cape Coast Fire Service and Tamale and all of that. You did not hear of network challenges with respect to those special exercises. And this printing of the 541,000 cards that I'm talking about, that's not going to face, that exercise is not going to face network connectivity challenges because we're going to do centralized printing of these cards at the NIA head office. We batch them, we box them, and then we ship them off to the regional offices and the district offices. You put in a plane, at most 2 hours, it will be in Tamale. Our officers will take them and farm them out to the districts. People will be sent messages to go and collect them.
That point you've made.
Yes,
The question really I'm driving at here is, since you're not going to do mass registrations, since you're not going to go to the various small units you did in 2020, would it not be more difficult for anybody to now have access to a registration center? Mindful of their location, mindful of the fact that there are still areas that are scattered in very different corners of this country.
So you keep mixing two things. You keep talking of registration centers. There are, Raymond, please be patient. There are no registration centers. There are district and regional offices. People who have registered, they went to register. So they will go to those district or regional offices to get their cards. There's no confusion there. Those whose cards those who have not collected or received their cards since the mass registration time, because they were registered at different registration centers, all those people, their cards have been conveyed to the regional and district offices. And I've spoken to the reality.
I get you, but the question I'm asking, it has nothing to do with that. I'm asking you want to register more people. The gentleman who turns 18 today will have to be registered.
Yes.
That gentleman previously knew that in his community there were registration centers close to him.
Now he will know that there is a district
that is the question
office.
I'm asking of. How difficult or how easy would it be for me, for example, in a community that's far from the district office to be able to register? It has nothing to do with the people who are
that previously.
Yes.
I
so
agree.
that's the
I
question
now
I'm asking
understand you.
Yes.
So you are a citizen of Ghana. You owe it a duty to yourself to register for whatever or to access whatever service you desire to access. If it is healthcare and one is not located in your community, you go to the community in which it is located. Everywhere in this country, certain services are peculiarly and exclusively available only at a regional or district office. It may well impose a hardship, and I agree, it imposes a hardship and difficulty for people, but that person who turns 18, and by the way, we were doing from 15, so there's quite a bit of people too in that cohort. But the person who turns 18 and wants to get the EC voter card must first acquire the Ghana card. So they will go to the NIA regional or district office in the region or district where they live and register for the Ghana card. And then they will go to the EC office and get the voter registration also done. But it is important.
Parliament said, forgive me, Parliament said it had given you some proposals from the last engagement, and Mahama Yariga actually hinted at those ones. Some proposals on making your registration and people's access to the registration in the current space that we find ourselves possible and easier.
Such as?
He didn't name them. So but I'm asking you whether you took some of them on board, because he believes that some of them should influence the decisions that are being made recently about registration and also going forward, whether or not we still can rely on the Ghana card for the voter registration.
Okay, let me tell you.
Yeah.
On Newsfile, on the 25th of February, 2023, Dr. Dominic Ayeni, MP for Bonkatanga East, and former Deputy Attorney General, stated the following on Newsfile, and he's a leading member of the NDC. Raymond, this is what he said, quote, NDC is fully in support of the NIA as an institution. We believe in the work that they are doing. We believe in the integrity of the Ghana card. I myself have tested the system before. I walked in, I just put my fingerprint to the system, and I came out only once. So we believe in the Ghana card system. And I must say that the current administration at NIA has done a fantastic job. We must be honest about that and to praise them for the good work they are doing. So we think they can deliver a clean society with the Ghana card. And we think they can deliver a clean election with the Ghana card, unquote. This is a statement just this past Saturday on Newsfile, Samson Lade Ayenene hosting, here at your premises. It speaks volumes.
Prof, that's not a question I asked.
No,
the question I asked is, the MPs are saying,
answer.
he just said that they are giving you proposals to make the system better.
This is part of the answer,
Okay.
laying the foundation for you to appreciate that whatever it is that we have done to date has integrity, they have confidence in it, and it is good. The proposal that you talk about, if I had any proposal, it's a proposal that my own good friend, Roxanne Nelson Dafiamepo, has made over the last year and a bit. And it is that we should allow him or them to assist us with resources to go into the communities outside the district or regional capitals to go and issue the cards, the backlog of cards, to the people. In Nelson Roxanne Dafiamepo's case, for example, he proposes that he'll provide the transportation, the food, and all of that to the people. For us, it is not as simple as that. You are transporting public servants from point A to point B to go and distribute security documents, the cards. You will need police, arrangement with the police to offer protection. With the police, you need to provide ration. With the staff, moving them out of town, depending on the kilometric distance, you need to pay allowances. Working beyond 5 o'clock, you need to pay them overtime because these are generally junior officers. When the MCE is the one sponsoring it, if the MCE is sponsoring it, you have a potential concern from an MP or vice versa. When it is an NDC MP providing it, you have a potential concern from an MPP parliamentarian or apparatchik, whatever it is. Raymond, we are intelligent, concerned people. We see the reality. We go monitoring. I was in the Greater Accra office about 10 days ago. I met a woman who was crying because she can't access her Ghana card. She's registered, but we can't print cards for her. And she can't transact business. People write, people come and see me, people see relatives and all of that. Because they are concerned, we are all concerned about these matters. But my assurance is that there are two heads of problems. The one that concerns unprinted cards. The debt owed, the portion of it has been paid to result in the release of cards by tomorrow. Hearing for the first time. By tomorrow, I'm confident that we'll get the blank cards, some of the blank cards released, so that this 541,000 plus cards will be printed. Then we will send the messages to collect them, so no problem. Then the second category, or the first rather, the backlog, I've provided the solution. The answer is what I've said so far. But it is significant to appreciate, Raymond, that the percentage of people aged 18 and above who must get onto the Electoral Commission's register is a very small number of people. The total for the whole country, for all ages, from 15 to infinity, is 2,565,000. And I'm saying that that can be done in 6 months. Election is more than a year and a bit away. This can be done long before EC's commencement of the continuous registration.
I need your reaction to this, because it's Bryce Simmons with the Money Ghana that put it up, which is key. The Ghana card is an enrichment scheme for a few elites. These people are hoodwinking the ruling party into believing its political fortunes depend on it. The NIA said the state's total contribution will be 124 million. That so-called PPP partner will fund the rest of the budget. In 2020, a whopping 800 million Ghana cedis was budgeted for Ghana card rollout. In 2022, more than 400 million, more than $250 million of the state's money has already been sunk into this. This is one of the world's most expensive ID card schemes. Yet, government is expected to pay $170 million in arrears. And he's asking Speaker to show metal and also proceed to say that the CI should not be. His claims are fundamentally to whether or not this entire system, and he calls it an enrichment scheme of a sort. Do you agree?
It's pitiful. It's a very sad, pitiful, tragic.
It's a respected, what they call it.
It doesn't matter. Look, Raymond, let's not elevate all kinds of views and persons into beyond what we must. Bryce Simmons is a great guy, great mind. I know him personally. I've worked with him before. I respect him most profoundly. But there are times Bryce Simmons and other people like him have made statements that they've gotten wrong. They've gotten completely wrong. He recently made a statement about be grateful when civil society, basically, he was talking about the Ghana card art.
I need to wrap up in a minute.
Okay, then my answer is that there is no evidentiary basis for any of the things he's saying. These are just throwing words out there. The only truthful statement in that is that in the first year, there is a PPP over a 15-year period. If you were going to consider this important, you should have had time for it, because I must give a full and proper answer. The first year of operation, the private partner was to come up with $169 million US in equity and loans. The government of Ghana was to come out with 124 million, and that supports our operations, the registration activities. The technical system is built and operated by the private partner. There is no scheme, there is no hoodwinking. These are idle words being thrown out. Bryce Simmons, as a responsible citizen, has a duty to prove these scurrilous allegations. These are scurrilous allegations. They impugn the integrity of everyone and anyone connected with this. And I don't think, Raymond, that it is fair to position this question or to ask this question at the tail end of an interview. You had not prompted me, you had not given me any clue that you were going to rely on the viewpoint of someone, a view that is treated, that's not part of what I went to Parliament to respond to, a view that is not part of what you agreed with me that you'll be raising. These are serious allegations by someone leading civil society who has all the time to do this kind of work, come up with these kinds of views, and you give me this tail end opportunity.
I guess we can do more maybe in the future, but I'm grateful to you for your time.
I am grateful, and I think that next time, something like this, give us prior notice, and we can come.
This has been up on his social media
I'm busy. I'm responding.
Almost 2 days now.
I'm responding to comments from Dr. Professor Jampo, irresponsible comments from some persons. It's
Prof,
all over the place.
I'm grateful to you for your time.
Let's deal with issues that face this country. And please, before you give credence and platform to these kinds of views, ask them the necessary questions. Ask for the evidentiary basis of those claims before you put them to us to respond.
Prof,
I thank you for
giving my time is up. Thank
you.
And folks, that's where we end today's edition of UPfront.